Russ, I don't think they threw him into the mix as fast, but he's kind of been thrown in, and he's done a really good job.
Okay, so that's Bobby Wagner, tenured vet, obviously future Hall of Famer. Jaden was lighting it up at practice. He was special. I was blown away by it, what he was showing out there, and that was before we saw him take the field in a preseason game. There was one comment, though, that stuck out to me. I asked Bobby if there were any sort of similarities between Jaden and this team and what he experienced with a rookie named Russell Wilson back in 2012 with the Seahawks. Yeah, and here's what he had to say about that. Okay, we just did that. Sorry, I wasn't listening. I guess we're here in training camp still during the show. So what he's basically saying and what we saw and what's going on, like GM Adam Peters, obviously we sat with him. We didn't get him on camera. But he reshaped the roster. He has the foundation thing going. They get rid of Jahan Dawson, which I thought was sort of weird. But they're making moves here to stockpile draft picks. And there's obviously like a lot of connections everyone on Twitter is making to Brandon Ayuk and the Niners and whatever that could look like. There's the Washington-San Francisco thing. It all sort of makes sense. And that wouldn't be the only reunion either. BA played with Jaden Daniels at Arizona State before Jaden transferred to LSU. So I ultimately think, I don't know, BA stays in the Bay. I'm going to follow like the Debo train of thought that he'll be on the team, that they'll make it happen. And that, hopefully Brandon Ayuk sees I can win here. He has the faith. I think that has a lot to do with the organization, his quarterback, and they tie up the loose ends. But if a team does swoop in last minute, I think we can all agree, given the connections, it's Washington. Okay, let's take a look. For Ayuk or no Ayuk, they're getting slept on. If you're a fan of FanDuel Sportsbook, and you are, Commanders currently have the fourth longest odds in the NFC to make the playoffs, plus 320. I'd be stunned if they're not at least in the conversation for playoff spot by, I don't know, winter, first snowfall. I don't know. By the way, you're definitely not getting odds that juicy if you trade for Ayuk, and that happens. So if you like the Commanders right now, I would maybe get in on that plus 310 action. Okay, we're going to take a break here. We got lots to get to. What's going on with the Cowboys? I mean, time's a ticking. We're talking all this Ayuk talk. CD not signed. What's the future for Dak Prescott? We'll get to RJ Ochoa on that. We've got a little predict-a-thon. I did hit up 20 training camps, so I know a thing or two about what's going on with these squads. And I did visit the Rams, but they were stop number one. Andrew Whitworth did some preseason games with them. He, of course, knows the innards of that organization, which we know and love, so we're going to get to him after this. We'll talk, I'm sure, a little Bengals, maybe a little fashion, and of course, prime Thursday night action coming up week 2. Big game. I think Dolphins in that one. We'll break it down. Oh, man. I have 2 in here. Hold on, let me look. Oh, yeah. I have Assad on Mayo. And then, yeah. No, hold on. Oh, yeah, hold on. Oh, it was Jaden. VO. Yeah, I thought that. Yeah. That's fine. Just long. The Patriot stuff was really long. I didn't get to look at it. Hello, YouTube chat. Did the Commanders make the playoffs? I say yes. I'm banging the yes on that. Big Wit coming on. Let's see. We have sound, audio working now. You guys didn't have sound? What's going on? Is everything okay with the audio? Okay. Oh, sorry guys, but I messed up big time, so I'm glad you didn't hear it. It was planned, coordinated. Daniel's gonna shave the beard. Okay. Trey Lance season. I don't know about that. I think Trey Lance is in cahoots with Dak, and there's some collusion going on. But we will talk to RJ in a bit, and hopefully we have Andrew Whitworth on the program as well today, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, a light just changed. Are we going to do the thing where we put a microphone out here, like a different microphone, or are we not going to do that for the season? We're going to switch the look up a little bit? Like a meeting about it? And me? Oh, okay, yeah. We should probably have conversations before you make changes on the show. Yeah, that would be wise of you. Love that. Love, 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 love. Okay. My guy, Super Bowl champion, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, I believe, analyst for TNF on Prime, Andrew Whitworth. I'm so excited for this season on Prime. I got a little taste in the preseason. You got a little Bengals-Colts action. What do I have to look forward to this season?
Okay, come on. It was good to get back to Cincinnati, the home. It was good. It was good to be there. It was a fun game, but yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. You look at it this year, we start off in Miami. I can't wait. I mean, who doesn't want to start the season there? A little Buffalo Bills, Dolphins action, and then a couple trips to New York. So I'm looking forward to it. We got a lot of great games. I got a game on my birthday this season,
Ooh.
December 12th. Rams, Niners in San Francisco. I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. We got an awesome slate, Black Friday in Kansas City. And you know we like to have a good time. So trust me, we'll be heading to a city, NFL city soon, having a good time, having a couple cocktails in the hotel lounges and enjoying, getting a chance to be with these players and coaches and celebrate this football game.
I feel like that part needs to be part of the broadcast, right? A lot's made of these hotel hangs in the lobby. We need to get that on broadcast, I think, this year.
Yeah, I always tell people, if you followed me and Ryan Fitzpatrick hanging out in the city every week, we love to check out antique shops, toy stores and you name it. We walk around the cities, we find what's cool about this city, what's a historic shop or something they have, a village, an area, you name it. We love to explore. So I think this season's going to be a really fun one. We got some awesome cities and some great games.
I love that. You mentioned you're excited to go Miami week 2. I was in Miami a couple weeks ago, and I have never sweat more. I have so much respect.
The hoodie's going to be tough, Kay. Kay, the hoodie's going to be tough. I'm already delivering. I don't know what I'm going to do. The hoodie's going to be tough to pull off in the heat.
I heard that you had a short-sleeved hoodie. You're finding new ways with the hoodie. Do we have? I think the control room pulled it. You have a new vibe to it. I've noticed during preseason action you weren't wearing a hoodie. So you're mixing it up, Whitworth.
I am. It's funny. I get criticism if I don't wear the hoodie. I get people that come after me. They're like, "Where is it at?" Right? So I went to the NFL owner meetings this offseason, and I'll never forget. I walked up, and one of the coach's wives, I didn't know her. She walks up. She goes, "Hey, I'm so-and-so's wife. Where's the hoodie at?" And I was like, "I am so sorry. I apologize. I will make sure I have a hoodie on at all NFL events." So, yeah, it's going to be tough in Miami. I might have to figure out a short sleeve, sleeveless version. Maybe we just put the guns out. I mean, suns out, guns out in Miami. Who knows?
You and Fitzy just going to FAO shorts has me giddy this morning. I think it's so hilarious. We can't wait for season 2. That's, of course, in Miami. I believe it's Buffalo. Is it Buffalo?
Miami, Buffalo in Miami. It's going to be an awesome game. I get to see Josh Allen out the jump, see what this offense looks like without Stephon Diggs, and Miami Dolphins. I mean, a couple great regular seasons, but we got to see what they do in the postseason. So it's going to be exciting to see week 2 what these two teams look like and where they're headed.
We got to get past week 1 first. You were doing TNF, you and Carissa Thompson. It was Bengals-Colts. Bengals opening the season against the Patriots. There's the orange out. While we're talking fashion here, all orange unis. Which would you have rather played in, the white Bengal or the orange out?
Well, here's the problem as a lineman. You don't worry too much about one solid color. You do get a little concerned about the white tops and the dark bottoms, only because you start to look like an ice cream sickle. So you got to be careful with our body physiques when you put the white jersey and the dark pants. It's not a great fashion look for us because you got skinny legs, and most of us don't have great midsections. So all one color, I'm good with. The only bad one color I think I've had in my career with the Los Angeles Rams against the Chiefs, Monday Night Football, we were all yellow, and I looked like Big Bird. And it wasn't a great look for me. But I'm going to tell you what, orange or white, I'd be all down for.
Okay, good. It was a discussion in our production meeting today that offensive linemen do not like all whites, but you were saying you were an all-white guy. I like it.
Yeah, I'm okay with all white. It's just more when you mix it up. If you go dark bottoms, then you got kind of the skinny popsicle leg look, and then the big. Anyway, so it's not a good look for us. Let's just put it that way.
How would it look if you had blonde hair like Joe Burrow, who I saw you talking to LSU legend before the game? Take me into this conversation. What are you chatting about?
To be honest with you, we're actually talking about, just this last 2 weeks right here at the part of the preseason where you look at it, Kay, we went down from 4 games to 3. Now teams have this extra week. And you can kind of tell guys get so restless. They're just, it's like you just want to get to week 1. You want to play in a football game. And it's kind of a time where you get a little frustrated, not bored per se, but more like, man, what am I accomplishing? I'm ready to go. Let's get to the game. And so you get a little restless during this time. And that's kind of what he was talking about. It's just you're sitting around thinking, wow, I'm still 10, 12, 14 days from my first game. I'm ready to go right now. It's a tough time. And I think teams that handle this kind of week and a half really well, you see it, because it's the same thing to me as like a bye week in the NFL. Some teams handle bye weeks really well. Some teams don't. And so I think these next couple weeks, what teams are able to kind of accomplish and get focused for week 1 is really going to dictate how some of these teams start their season.
Yeah, you went entire preseasons without taking a single snap.
Oh yeah, listen, Kay, I don't need any extra work. Okay, once you're past, forget 10,000. Once you're past 15,000, listen, just put me out for the real action. Okay, I'm taking a nap in the back until it's time to go.
I want people. I'm gonna keep with this thing, but it just reminds me of Trent Williams because I was up in San Francisco. You have a TNF game, of course, a big one on your birthday, December 12th. I love that, and I was up there, and there's no concern about him. About any. If you were to be concerned about one thing with Trent Williams and the Niners, what would that be?
I think for Trent, knowing who he is and really how he carries himself and trains, no concerns at all. I mean, I've played multiple seasons where I didn't play in the preseasons. I even played some where I came off an injury and didn't play at all until a game. So I think that for him as a lineman, you don't really worry about timing things. You don't worry about things that really matter to timing up plays. You're out there, really in a fight, kind of in a brawl, and that's just his nature and how many snaps he's played. You're not worried about that. Now, if we're talking about skill players like Brandon Ayuk, that situation, Christian McCaffrey being out, the timing it takes for certain routes, certain motions, and things you're doing offensively, those are more the ones I get nervous about. Jamar Chase being out as long as he'd been out. I mean, those type things, that feel, when it comes down to feel and touch and rhythm and being on the same page, those are things I worry about more, those kind of players missing time than really a lineman, because our game doesn't change that much. If you're really good at it and you have a certain skill set and ability and you take care of yourself, you'll be ready to roll. I worry more about those things that really come down to, you and somebody having a feel for each other.
I'm looking right now there. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reporting that this might go into the season for Trent. So now let's, see? Now
that's a different reaction.
Well, listen,
Kay,
this is a man.
I'm not worried about him. I am worried about them. So I'm not worried about Trent. I am worried about the Niners, because here's the reality. And Kyle Shanahan's a tremendous coach. He's a great offensive mind. We all know that. But part of that mind is all those pieces that he has a chance to work with. And so, if we talk about being, chess, not checkers, when you start losing the main pieces you need in chess, it becomes a lot harder. So I think that, for them, they need all those weapons. We look at their record last year when Trent Williams wasn't in. Him and Deebo Samuel missed. All of a sudden, everyone's falling off of the bandwagon of the Niners and saying that they're struggling and Brock Purdy's not as good and blah, 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 blah. Right. And now Trent comes back, they start rolling again. So I think when you look at it, he's a massive piece of the puzzle for them, one that they have to get figured out.
They cannot. I don't know that they can win the division without him. I don't know that they can, have this campaign for the 1 seed without him. Looking at the schedule, Jets, Vikings, Rams, the first 3 games for this Niners squad, I think they could win with everybody else that you're mentioning, just not Trent Williams. He's that good.
I agree. And I don't think that they have as big a hold on the division as they might think they do. I think there's a couple teams in that division they're going to be right on their tails. So I don't think that this division, I think that I have a feeling that really Seattle's going to bounce back, and I think they're going to have a special year. I think Mike McDonald seems to be a guy that everyone you hear talk about is special. And then I think this Rams team, if they're healthy up front, offensively, they ought to be as good as anybody. So I think that San Francisco's got to be a little nervous in that building about figuring out these contracts, because I think the other teams in this division are ready, and I can't wait to see what the Arizona Cardinals look like. They beefed up on the offensive line. You know, they took down some teams that you probably wouldn't have thought they could last year, that running game and everything else. You know, will they be better? And I think that that's one of those things with San Francisco. When you got all these questions in your building, you got to handle your business and get back to the postseason to even have a chance to win it.
Are you trying to do the thing where you're not playing favorites and mention you're going to talk about Seattle, you're going to talk about Arizona, and not the Rams being the one to unseat the Niners? Come on.
Listen, I think the Rams have as good a shot as anybody. I think if they're healthy up front, I think that their offense is going to be one of the best in the NFL. And, you know, defensively, I love some of these young players they got. Watching them, I've been to a couple of their scrimmages with the Cowboys and the Chargers. You know what? Jared Verse is the real deal. I can't wait to see him get on a field and play in an NFL game. Brandon Fisk looks like somebody who's going to be a special player for them inside. Yes, they're never going to replace Aaron Donald, but a great place to start is with two real talented young rookies who can get after the quarterback, especially after the year Byron Young had last year and Kobe Turner. I think they're starting to put together a really good front five, and I looked at this defense to be a hair better than last year with some talent up front to get to the quarterback.
Whoa.
And then the offense being even better than they were last year with what they've done on the offensive line. So I'm a homer for the Rams, but I also, as an analyst, believe the Rams could be one of these teams that we talk about at the end of the year and go, wow, how did they get ahead of the Niners? I think it's very possible.
Did you say they're going to be better without AD?
No, I think they're actually going to be better on defense as a team. Yes, because I thought last year you really look at it defensively, they really struggled against teams that were good offenses. They didn't have a chance. You know, basically were getting in the way, but not slowing people up as much. Now, look, they had a lot of change in the secondary all over the defense. AD was really one of the few reasons that they were actually able to be as competitive as they were last year. I think this year is a total, you know, you look at the totality picture. Defensively, I think in the secondary, they've added some guys that they ought to be a lot better. Cameron Curl and some of those guys they brought in. Mm-hmm. Secondary-wise, they're going to be better. I think up front, they're definitely going to be better. I'm looking forward to seeing this young group. And when you start talking about a Byron Young, the year he had as a rookie, Kobe Turner right up there for the Rookie Defense of the Year award, you know, and then now you add Brandon Fisk and Jared Verse. You got four talented young guys up there getting after the quarterback. That's something you build with. And they're all 1 year, 2 year guys. We see this every year. You start drafting really well. In 2 years, we go, man, how did this defense get this good? They have some talent up front. And so I look for them to keep growing and getting better.
They got a real chip on their shoulder, too. That was my takeaway from camp. Is there, oh, you didn't pay attention to us last year? Watch. And now now they got
I love this, too. Okay, Jared Verse is a trash-talking machine. Okay. This guy, every scrimmage I'm at, listen, I'm not playing or touching anybody, and I don't want to be touched by anybody. But I thought I was going to get in a fight the way this guy was talking trash to people. I mean, he does not stop, and he's relentless with it, but he backs it up as well. The first time we see this guy hit somebody with one of his bull rushes, they're going to know this dude's for real. I was watching him, and I'm thinking, man, I've lost a little weight in my time. I don't want to stand in the way of this guy right now. I would be in Matthew Stafford's lap. He can bring it. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys play and what it's going to look like for them on Sundays.
Between him and Turner, that's a Hall of Fame-size hole to fill. We'll see what they can do. Did you see Aaron Donald smoke LaShawn McCoy in a race?
I did not. I have not watched this.
Well, here it is.
I would not doubt it.
Feast your eyes. He's so fast. He's so big. I wouldn't doubt it either, but.
Not fair.
Yeah. I would say.
It's not fair.
This doesn't look like a guy who's done. I'm just saying.
Well, listen, Kay, I'll tell you this. I took him I went and picked him up. I took him to the Cowboys scrimmage a couple weeks ago. And let me tell you something. Those guns were out, and I was nervous. When he got in the car, I was like, wow, this dude is still swole. He still looks like the Hall of Famer AD. Looks like he can step on a field right now. So, hey, Rams make a little run, Kay. Things could get interesting in the month of November and December. So I'm just saying, this guy looks the part. He's still got a love for it. he wanted to go watch kind of these young D-line guys. And I think one of the things when we got back in the car on the way back, he was impressed. And so I think that's really cool to see a guy like him impressed by some of the ability they have up front. He's a special human. And you know what? I'll be right there on the train. Pull the Eric Weddle, baby. Come back. Give us a little umph late in the year. Let's make a playoff run. AD, baby. Let's go. And now also that way nobody's asking me to come back. So I'm all for let's pressure AD to come back and be a part of this defense.
He's only 33. He looks amazing.
Oh, he's got plenty left in the tank.
So did that come up in the conversations while you guys are watching Cowboys? Come on.
Okay, I mean, listen, you have a lot better opportunity to ask him those kind of questions. I'm not. That dude is scary. I'm not asking him anything he doesn't want to talk about. So I just stick to whatever AD wants to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about. So listen, he loves the game of football. Yeah. He's passionate about it. No one's ever, I've always said this. What made him rare is not just his ability, his strength, all those things. The guy, the way he studied and prepared and the way he worked, I'll say this all the time, I've never seen anybody that practiced or trained harder than Aaron Donald in my entire career. So he literally hit every box you can think of. He was one of the best at it, and that's what made him so rare and why he's one of the greatest defenders that's ever played this game. So if he wants to play, I have zero doubt that he can
feel like he wants to play, and that's why you guys are going. Why else? Why is he going? What is the conversation with Aaron Donald? Like, let's go watch the Cowboys. He just wants to go. He's interested. Give me a break.
Well, listen, you like to go be around it still. I want to see it, but
that means the door is open. That means the door is open if he wants to be around it, and he's in good shape, and you have that look on your face, and you're invoking an Eric Weddle. That you are invoking an Eric Weddle. I'm here for it. Well, you're saying you want it because you don't want.
Any other guy that's going back to football that's not myself, I'm all for. Hey, listen, I would love to watch. I'm a huge fan. I would love to see guys make comebacks. I just don't want to be a part of it myself.
Andrew, are you done? So I can't joke with you about coming back anymore? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm done. I'm done.
It's official.
I can't block my kids, much less anybody else.
If you were to go back, which is a very tough, I'm going to ask you a real tough one. If you were to go back this year, which team would you rather be on, the Rams or the Bengals this year?
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Tough.
Here's the political answer I'm going to give, Kay, is that I live in L.A., so I could be closer to my kids and be at home, so I would probably just go back to the Rams. So that really would be convenience and location, and also the fact that, I had a pretty good run there in L.A. So I enjoy my relationships in that building, and that would be a real easy move for me because it's right down the street. So I'm all for that. Los Angeles Rams are, obviously our home and our team, and we enjoy living out here in L.A. And the kids, they're all about the Rams, so they would love it too.
And once Aaron Donald gets back, it'll be.
Yeah, then we both go back together. We were just practicing riding to work together, okay? That's what it was.
Listen, I was with Joe. I had the most delightful, pleasant conversation with Joe Alt of the Chargers. Rookie, obviously incredible offensive lineman. And he was just complaining about LA prices and about how rent is crazy. It was so cute. What would you say to him? $20 million signing bonus.
Play good, they pay good. You know what I mean? So listen, just get used to it. Hey, the weather, the experience when you live here, it's great. I don't know, maybe as a young player, you don't experience it as much. But for me, at my stage of my career, come out here, get to go play some golf, enjoy the weather, hop down to Soho, Malibu, or maybe a little Elefante in Santa Monica.
Let's go.
Just enjoying some little outdoor, indoor restaurants. It's pretty good, man. The taxes take care of themselves most of the time.
Preseason, obviously you worked with the Rams. I just want to get some more insight out of you so we can all be smarter as we are less than 2 weeks to go. What was sort of the one thing even you, the great Andrew Whitworth, learned from covering the preseason for both Prime and, of course, the Rams, which you crushed?
Yeah, I think, when you look at it, I think what's interesting now, you see so many more teams not playing starters, but you also get a chance to see some of these young guys develop right before your eyes, and you go, all of a sudden, I think we see it across the league. Some guy gets in there, gets his opportunity, and there's this veteran who was feeling pretty safe, and then now all of a sudden it's like, oh, man, this guy in 3 games has all of a sudden been somebody who's shown up, and we kind of think he could play he could be a guy who's helping us on Sundays. And so I think watching that progression's been really fun the last couple of years. This year, I think the biggest thing that, going to scrimmages, being around the Rams, man, offensively, I think they have potential to be really special. Blake Corum and Kyron Williams look like twins. I think that those two together as a duo are going to be really good. This offensive line, when they have Jonah Jackson, Steve Avila, and all those guys healthy, you know what, they ought to be really good. So I'm looking for the Rams offensively to be really special on offense. But you know what, when I'm going to Cincinnati and Indy, I see a lot of confidence in Cincinnati. I talked about Lou Anarumo. They feel like they're completely different on the defensive side of the ball this year. The way they're communicating, the way they're able to get in and out of things defensively and coverages and adjust. He felt confident. Talking to those guys, they feel really confident. I walked out of there sitting on the set on Thursday night, and you know this, Kate, when you're around people enough, you all of a sudden get on a bandwagon.
Of course.
It's like, man, I think the Cincinnati Bengals are winning this division. I think they might go to the Super Bowl. Like, I felt pretty confident. There's a swagger and attitude, and I know Joe Burrow brings that, but there's something about the way they feel in that building that I think this is going to be a really good year for them. They've been there. They've shown the ability to make special runs. I mean, they lost Joe Burrow last year. They finished winning 4 out of the last 6, almost made the playoffs. So it's clearly a very good football team that I think they've made even better this offseason. So I walked out there like, hey, the Cincinnati Bengals could be the team in the AFC to go chase down these Chiefs. And then with the Colts, you know what? I think it's going to take time. We got a little taste of Anthony Richardson last year, what was potentially against the Rams, and then he got hurt. But they have a lot of weapons. And so I think offensively, I think Shane Steichen's one of the most impressive dudes, man. Being around him, his attitude, his composure, just who he is, you can see why those guys love him, and the job he did last year was tremendous. I'm excited to see where this Colts offense is in Week 6, Week 7, Week 8. If Anthony Richardson's healthy, I think they're only going to get better and better every week.
Is it about health? I want to ask you about Anthony Richardson. I'm like carrying the let's go Anthony Richardson. Colts are slept on. You know, Anthony sat with me and said Shane Steichen's a genius. Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson played 2 snaps together all of last year, and Shane Steichen was somehow able to engineer a top 10 offense and a 9-win team regardless. There's only up to go. But then you have Herb Street talking about Flacco. That goes viral. Then it's everything from he's inconsistent and has accurate issues, he's not the right guy, put Flacco into he's the MVP for 2024. Where do you lie on that spectrum with Richardson?
I think you look at it in that Rams game last year that he made the comeback, you got to see what he had the talent ability to do. Throwing touchdowns, rushing for touchdowns, be able to get yards on the ground and in the air. I think my biggest concern last year, there's a preseason clip in his first action, I think it was against the Bills, because I actually had him last year in the preseason as well in Philly. And he's going to the end zone, and he takes a shot that I didn't like. Because if you look at a lot of the guys who are really good at extending plays, as a quarterback, and then even some of the receivers that you've kind of known as like, hey, I'd be a little worried about this guy getting hurt in games because of their frame and structure. They're really good at avoiding big hits, and they're really good at like, man, you thought you got me, but I made you miss. Lamar Jackson's a master at it, right? Everyone thinks they're about to knock his head off, and then boom, he just slips out of the way. Maybe you get him down, but he falls down. He avoids the big hits. I was worried the way he took the hit square, and then a couple times in the game in the regular season last year, you saw him take some shots where you're like, man, I know you're big, I know you're strong, but in this league, these dudes are big, violent men, and you've got to avoid some of these hits. And it ends up being an issue for him. And so I think, to me, it's one of those things that he's got to learn that, yes, you are a big, bad, athletic guy, and you're a freak of nature, but you've got to avoid some of these shots, and you got to have it's got to be an art. There's a feel to it where you just know how to avoid some of those things. Keep yourself healthy and give yourself enough time to grow. Every young quarterback needs time to grow as a pocket passer, to develop to understand concepts and their vision and to settle their feet. And, for him, it's continuing to do those things. And every now and then you see his feet get a little crazy in the pocket when he's throwing across his body and different things. And I think just having time to clean some of that up and really kind of grow as a quarterback. He's got all the ability. He's got the attitude. He's got the swagger. I'm a huge fan, and I want to see him be successful. It sounds like you're more concerned about injury than ability, which is, I think, important. Yeah, I just think you see those things and you realize, hey, man, you got to understand in this league, we don't need you taking those shots. Josh Allen, like people talk about him a lot, but you really watch it. Josh I actually think jumping is safer than some of the shots you'd take. So I think sometimes for him, he's really smart about he may be doing something crazy. You're like, whoa, I can't believe he jumped like that, or he leaped to the side or whatever. But he's kind of changing the angle on the shot he's taking. He's not just taking square on hits. And so I think that you have to be smart about that stuff in your own way. And he's got to develop his way of handling those.
It's a good point. Josh never gets hit cleanly, right? That is a thing. He never takes a big hit. That's something that Josh...
it may scare us all to death when he's up in the air and it's, all these things, but he does a good job of kind of coming down softly and not taking the huge square hit. And I think that that's what you got to be able to do as a player in this league. When you step up to the NFL, you got to understand how powerful these guys are. And when they hit you, it's going to hurt. So
Bengals-Rams Super Bowl, this is going to be tough for you.
It's going to be a tough one. Hey, listen, you know what? That would be awesome. Hey, listen, Bengals-Rams Super Bowl in my state of Louisiana. I mean, even better.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Are you headed to this game? Are you headed to this game this weekend? LSU, USC?
Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. No, I'll be there.
You're going?
Come on. Oh, yeah.
Tell
LSU,
me.
USC in Vegas. Let's go.
Oh, it's in Vegas.
Yeah, LSU, USC in Vegas. Yeah, at Raider Stadium. It's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to it.
That'll be fun.
I'll be hanging out at the Wynn, having some dinner at Delilah. Listen, one thing Thursday Night Football's taught me is how to entertain yourself, okay? So I got it all planned out, okay? I'm ready to go.
Yeah, they wanted me to rap you, and now they're saying, who's his crew? Who's he going with to Vegas? And we need to know the crew.
You know what? It'll be a good crew. Got some old Tigers coming. I'm trying to talk some of the guys into coming. You remember 2003, we won the national championship in the BCS with Nick Saban, Marcus Spears, Matt Mock, a lot of our guys, and then Michael Clayton, our crew there at that time. And then USC won the USA Today poll. So this has been a lot of chatter between the two groups and the alumni, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, all those guys. The paper champions versus the team that actually got the trophy. So this is not going to be a fun weekend. Maybe the kids don't care about it playing in the game, but the alumnus, dang, we for sure care, okay? We were the better team in 2003. We won the actual trophy. They won the paper championship, and we're going to settle it this weekend on Sunday in Vegas. Let's go.
At the Wynn at a table where really the real winner is Las Vegas, as it always is, for hosting such an epic game. And then in week 2, you'll be probably, I can't imagine, the Fountain Blue, Live, the Satai, somewhere.
Hey, this is actually a fun fact. I haven't been to Miami since probably 2008 or 7. So I'm doing all the things. I'm ready. Don't worry. It's coming.
Watch out, Miami. Prime coming your way.
Food, entertainment, TNF.
We're
coming. NFL on Prime is coming your way.
AFC East smash-up. Smiles on our faces because football is back. It's here. Hey, you crushed Rams coverage. It was fun to see. Very cool.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a blast to be around, man. This game changed my life, and the chance I get to talk about other guys and players and everyone that's involved in this awesome sport. Football is fun. Let's go. We're back. Let's have a great fall. Everybody can enjoy life again. Football is around the clock. Let's go.
You're the best. Thank you, Andrew Whitworth, Super Bowl champion. He's pretending he's not coming back to a team near you. I refuse to subscribe to this, but Aaron Donald at 33 might be back with the Rams. That's what I learned today. Thank you, Whit. You're the best.
All right. Thank you, Kay.
Bye. We'll be back. Check out Andrew Whitworth, of course, NFL analyst on Prime, coming to you from Miami in week 2. So fun. What's up? Yeah, great. Let's start. Yeah. Okay, whenever you're ready. Hi. No, we don't, I'm fine. Oh, okay, hold on. Now we have company. Can you just?
Yeah, cut it out, cut it out.
Okay, let's bring him in, the manager and editor-in-chief of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. I know we don't have a lot of time, so let's get right to it. Hope you're well. I mean, I want to start on a positive note. Give me one thing that happened this preseason with these Cowboys that's good.
The rookie class looks really great, Kay. Like one of the better ones the Cowboys have had in some time. And given that last year's looks like a bit of a dud and that they haven't done anything, it is a bit of wind in people's sails. So that is a really positive thing. But there are other avenues of team building that the Cowboys seem comfortable ignoring.
Trey Lance, should we just get there? Not a great thing. You feel bad for him. I appreciate the empathy and compassion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody, is enjoying this. And I think everybody acknowledges that Trey certainly needs opportunities. And I think that he's an example of maybe how the NFL can partner with some of these spring leagues or things like that. But it does highlight how this trade was illogical for the Cowboys specifically, as far as their team, as far as their needs, and how he didn't have the time. Remember, they traded for him at the end of the preseason last year. So he didn't even get last year's, exhibition games to kind of work with things. And it has only, I think, exacerbated the issue around Trey, the spotlight of who the Cowboys are. It was a really tough outing for him on Saturday afternoon. 5 interceptions is tough to overcome no matter who you are.
When it comes to CD, we're not in training camp anymore. We are back. We got fun stuff going on at the Star tomorrow. Like, how critical are these next, I'm going to say 48 hours?
I mean, they're paramount, but there have been all sorts of reports, right? There were reports that we're going to talk over the weekend. It's Monday and nothing has been consummated yet. It's impossible to be this incompetent, but somehow we're here. I mean, anywhere you look, the verbiage is, this is simple. This is copy and paste. I mean, the reality of the situation is this has been botched to the highest degree. I mean, it is difficult to mess this up this badly. Yet somehow, some way, the Cowboys are here, and they're literally watching themselves do the same exact thing in parallel with it all with Micah Parsons, all while Dak Prescott waves in the wind as well. It is a stunning level of roster and salary cap mismanagement, but the deal will probably get done, I would guess, at some point in time, and everybody will act like that was the perfect plan all along.
And so you can't even you can't even put your phone down, can you, RJ? You're just waiting, that's what your life is the next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I walk around the house, kind of on edge, and I've got all sorts of alerts, and we've got all sorts of pre-drafts and pre-videos and things that we've had to scrap. But I mean, we've also been waiting on this for 6 months, for 18 months, if you count last year. It is a really, again, stressful, tenuous situation. They play football in 13 days for real, and they have no deal signed, no extension signed, rather, with their number one wide receiver. That's kind of a big problem.
You mentioned Micah. So let's say CD gets an extension. They figure it out with Dak. What does it mean for Micah? Is there a world they could move a decimal point or two and keep all three?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of worlds. I mean, it's very, very possible that they can keep all three. It's just a matter of how willing they are to roll their sleeves up and act like an NFL front office. I mean, look, this morning ESPN released sack projections for this year, which is an interesting thing. And Micah is projected to lead the league in sacks. He doesn't have a Defensive Player of the Year award on his mantle. And I mean, maybe this is the year, right? So now all of a sudden you're negotiating with a guy with an enormous, enormously large more amount of leverage than he has ever had. It's, again, you would think that it would behoove them to learn a lesson, but they could totally keep all three. They just, they have a history of this. It isn't just CD and Dak and Micah now. It's Des Bryant, it's DeMarcus Lawrence, it's Dak Prescott in the past. They just love to wait for whatever reason you think, whether it is incompetence or whether it is enjoying the spotlight that it provides.
Deron Bland injury to add to it. I know you have to go, but tell me this, given all this, is this a 10-win team?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that has won 12 games 3 years in a row, despite the fact that nobody wants to give Mike McCarthy any semblance of credit for that. And the Deron Bland injury is devastating. There's no doubt about that. And it's unfortunate that we still have to wait even longer to see him play opposite of Trayvon Diggs. But the Cowboys, I mentioned their rookie class, have a fifth-round rookie in Kalen Carson out of Wake Forest, who has really impressed. And if there's one position group on the team that I think they can survive things for a little bit, it's probably in the secondary in terms of surviving a loss. If you assume that he's going to be out through their week 7 bye, that's my own personal assumption. There's not necessarily a kind of murderer's row of quarterbacks or wide receiver groups that they're going to face at that point in time. And if you do trust that Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are going to take care of things, maybe you would want to take care of them. That would be my advice to the Cowboys. But I do think that they probably get through that, first 6 games with a 4-2 record and set themselves up. I mean, if you told me the over-under was 10.5, I would lean over, but 11.5 is where I might start to kind of worry a little bit.
FanDuel has them at 9.5, so you're going to bang
Easy
the
money.
over on that. Easy money, says RJ Ochoa. You're a delight, and you're such an easy interview. Thank you for the information. I hope more positivity comes your way so you can unplug your phone and enjoy the kickoff to the NFL season. RJ Ochoa, check out all of his stuff at Blogging the Boys as I bring in Matt Hamilton here. Thanks, RJ.
Thanks, Kay.
Thanks. Thank you so much. The spotlight part makes me giggle a little bit, Hammy, if I think about why they do this, and you at 5 a.m. my time today are in my ear about how this is just the way Jerry likes to operate. And some people that's it. We have a lot of history to point to, as RJ just alluded to.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like he enjoys the game of chicken and seeing what he could squeeze out of these negotiations. We saw it with Zeke a few years ago too, and that extended into the regular season. And I think that's, if you're a Cowboys fan, that's what starts to make you a little bit nervous, because you don't want to start seeing this bleed into the regular season, especially with CD, when the rest of that receiving core is kind of a question mark.
Do you think they're a 10-win team? As easily? I didn't think RJ was going to go that way.
Yeah, I do think they're a 10-win team. I think with the way they played the second half of last season, the playoff game aside, the way they played the second half of last season, I think they showed that. It's just, the bar in Dallas is the Super Bowl, and I don't think they've gotten any closer to that goal. And I think the concern really starts to creep in when you think about the future of this team with the way these negotiations are playing out, because what's going to happen over the next couple of years that's going to get them closer to that Super Bowl. And it's hard to find a path unless Dak just takes his game to another level and they get him under contract and lock him up. But like, the way this roster is built right now, it's hard to see a path for them to really get back into like being considered a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
I don't know. I think the division got better.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be tough. I just think it's going to be a lot tougher for them, given all this. And I think some of this stuff is going to creep into the season. Micah's not one to go quietly into the week one night. Like, I just don't see it really like working that way. So I think that's a whole other human aspect of this. That credit to Mike McCarthy for everything that he's done and keeping them a contender. But I don't know. I don't know if I see the 9.5. That's what I think. What do you guys think over on YouTube? My favorite thing happening right now is that it's nice that you, the man on the show, is getting some like body comments right now instead of
What's
me.
happening?
We're getting, well, first, you're sunburnt. You have been hitting the gym.
A little bit.
You look yoked. Is what's going on? And that's not the first. There was a Twitter comment too about your arms not long ago. What have I not noticed? What's happening?
I don't know. Like, I hadn't worked out for 3 weeks with the training camp tour going on. I did get sunburnt. We're in the middle of high school football practices too, so that has not helped. Over at New Rochelle High School, which, by the way, Coach Rhett finally has come through for you. Next time I see you, I got a little something.
You and I are in a fight right now. You and I aren't even getting along right now. But I'm looking at let's see. We have over under of 9.5 wins. 58% right now say over 9.5.
Wow.
I don't see it. Convince me, and the Cowboys fans are not going to love that. But I don't know. I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see
even
it.
the Cowboys. I mean, listening to RJ, I've never seen a Cowboys fan or someone covering a Cowboys just that frustrated. It's it almost has me. I never thought I'd get to a place in my life where I feel bad for Cowboys fans, but we're kind of getting there.
We're going to hit a Predictathon after this, and we should wrap up the show maybe talking about the fact that Aaron Donald's returning. That's like the big headline. I hope we're getting that out there.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even have to ask Andrew. He like said it himself without me even be like, could the door be open? Like he sort of let the cat out of the bag. All right, we'll be back after this. We've got predictions, Predictathon. Look at those guns. Why don't I notice these things in person? Look at you. All right, Hammy. Hammer's secretly jacked. I just like that there's body shaming comments. Not shaming, just body compliments, body anything about you. This makes my day.
Oh, man.
You guys really think? Should we do that or should we do, I think we should do that. You could do, we have 3 things to choose from, I guess.
Yeah.
For interviews, Hammy, I need like the kiss off to people written in here.
Gotcha.
There's no RJ Ochoa goodbye, no Andrew Whitworth promoting his game at the end. Thank you.
Gotcha. Make sure we do that.
Yeah. And sorry to RJ. I don't know. I'll hit him up, but sorry we were cut short on that.
No, he.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he had something coming up.
I know. I just wish.
So it was on his.
Okay. No, I know. I feel like we did get him out on time though.
Yep. Got him out right on time.
Okay. Hammer knows when the camera's about to take a pic. Get Hammer to do that muscle pointing thing. What is that? Did you get it? What Good Morning Football crew would call it? What was it? Getting a pump in? That was one of my biggest lessons on that show. Was that the things that the little life hacks that, you know, what fake eyelashes are to women is what getting a pump in is to the push-up bra of men.
Yeah, I did. I did not before that pick. I was too busy looking at Drew Brees' game ball from some random 2013 game that was in
so
the Saints Hall of Fame.
Half you were different. That's so funny. Chris Olave, nobody drafted him last night in the YouTube draft. I
couldn't believe that.
I kind of can. It's interesting.
I think Scott Hansen wanted him. He was getting frustrated with those polls.
And then he just went rogue and made his own quarterback pick. I was like, who's making the rules here? And Eisen wasn't helpful to me at all. I was like, Eisen, yell at him, but that's not okay. And he's like,
that was an unbelievable dynamic. That was so really fun to watch. You did a great job with that.
Thank you. It was very fun. It was very fun.
It was a circus, but
it wasn't. It was like half the table was a circus, and then I had like the perfect amount of like, you know, like you need somebody to like bounce, and that was Eisen. Just like,
yeah,
he was awesome. It was awesome. It was really fun. And then Whitney Cummings killed it.
She was unbelievable. And Gronk, we'll get to Gronk.
I thought Gronk was like very, you know, serious, I felt like.
It's Predictathon 2024. 8 days of Kay's NFL season predictions. And here she is with her picks, Kay Adams.
10 predictions following 20 training camps and a lot of time thinking in the car and traffic in Los Angeles about what's going to happen. It is time for Predictathon, the end of summer mega event that celebrates all things predictions. So with that said, my first prediction for this 2024 NFL season is the Chicago Bears. We're going to start with them. A lot of positivity surrounding Caleb Williams. His teammates all chirping about him. Keenan Allen loved him. He compared his talent level to what he saw from Justin Herbert. As a rookie, Herbo, by the way, threw for 4,300 yards that year. And it got me thinking, if Caleb, young Caleb, in that talented situation, all the support, if he can pull off something very special, and I think yes. If you look at this list, the Bears' all-time single-season passing leaders, Eric Kramer has the franchise record with 3,838 yards. That was back in '95. We've got a bunch of, you know, Cutlers on here. We got a Trubisky, Sexy Rexy Grossman, a Jim Harbaugh, which we love. And with that said, my first Predictathon prediction is that Caleb is going to break Chicago's single-season passing record in his first year. As a rookie, a couple weeks from now, that campaign will start. He's got the talent. He's got the receivers. He's going to give us a debut that rewrites the 104-year-old record book. And that, my friends, will be just the beginning. I will be making more predictions as the season kicks off. But that's my first one. I feel super comfy about it, Hammer. It's kind of like a mild dip into the Predictathon pool. Richard, are you around? Hello?
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just jump in head for, you know, it's a good way to get your feet wet, and it's a good one. I mean, again, you mentioned it, 104-year history of the Bears. Be pretty cool if he's able to do it in year one.
Yeah, we're going to do 9 more of these. We're going to switch it around a little bit for tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I'm feeling about this, actually. I'm gonna have a think on it, a sleep on it, take a little nap on it. But that's what we think about the Bears. You guys tell us what you think. The Bears have never had 4,000 passing yards by a quarterback in a season. That's shocking. It's not if you listen to me, because I'm constantly saying Jay Cutler is the best franchise quarterback in history. So the ceiling is low. That's why it's sort of a mild prediction. We're getting our feet wet in that pool. So that's great. Should we talk about Aaron Donald? Do you think he could
let's
come
talk
back?
about Aaron Donald.
But if he comes back, then you have this whole like Kobe Turner verse situation. Like, what are you going to do with them? Like, does it work?
I think it does, because I think you still can rotate a bunch up front, especially, you know, I see it as the type of thing like like we saw, like Whitworth made the Weddle comparison for us, like where they kind of jump in mid-season when they see what the team has, and he could be like that last infinity stone in the gauntlet for them. I'm sure they're going to try to make some moves at the trade deadline too, trade some more picks if they feel like they're close. So I don't think it's a pipe dream at all.
Okay, this draft was last night. I'm not doing a fantasy draft this year, but we're going to have plenty of like information for you guys. I trust you like out the wazoo. We are ready for the fantasy season. We're going to get you. I think when do you plan on incorporating that into the show? Tomorrow? Fantasy stuff?
Yeah, we'll weave it in throughout here as we lead up to week 1.
I thought we would do it today. We should definitely start. How do you want to? Have we discussed how we want to roll out fantasy? What do you guys want? Hit me up in the YouTube chat. What do you guys want to hear from us as far as fantasy? Or like, obviously sleepers. Are we going to do like just like a fantasy segment every day?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this, but yeah.
What were your ideas? Let's talk about it as a family with our YouTube audience. What do you guys want for fantasy? I guess like maybe we'll do some sleepers.